In today's video, we'll dive into the top 15 single-player FPS games that have held the interest and attention of gamers with their outstanding narratives, engaging gameplay, and sheer fun. My selection spans a range of games that are not only mechanically excellent, but also boast riveting storylines. Often when we discuss first-person shooters, multiplayer experiences come to mind first. However, the genre also thrives on enthralling single-player campaigns filled with memorable plots and an amazing story to tell. So let's get started and look at the first game on my list. Wolfenstein: The New Order. Wolfenstein is another first-person shooter series. Originally developed by ID Software, the series saw a new direction with Machine Games after a not-so-successful release in 2009 called simply Wolfenstein. Machine Games didn't restart the series completely, but changed it enough to feel like a new beginning. The New Order presents an alternate reality where Nazi Germany won World War II and controls much of the world by the 1960s. The game follows BJ Blazkowicz and a diverse group of resistance fighters on their mission to defeat as many enemies as they can. However, the standout feature of The New Order wasn't just the action. What made the game special were the quiet, personal moments that built the characters amid the chaos and conflict. BJ Blazkowicz comes across as a genuine person, someone who balances his fierce determination to defeat the Nazis with his gentle way of treating the good folks he meets. Not everyone gets a happy ending, or even lives to see another day. Wolfenstein: The New Order, with its poignant ending, earned its spot on this list. Far Cry 3. Some might argue that Far Cry 2 should also be mentioned because Ubisoft has reused the formula from Far Cry 3 many times. However, it's tough to ignore how engaging the single-player story of Far Cry 3 is. Set in a place that looks like a tropical paradise, a group of wealthy young tourists quickly find themselves fleeing from local criminals, led by the unforgettable Vaz Montenegro. Vaz doesn't appear too often, which keeps him intriguing, and his memorable lines and Michael Mando's stellar acting make him stand out. But even without Vaz, Far Cry 3 is still a terrific game. Nothing feels like a chore. For instance, gathering animal skins to make a new pouch is actually enjoyable thanks to the exciting bow hunting. Plus, the story missions include many dramatic scenes and are backed by a fantastic soundtrack. Call of Duty: Modern Warfare. Originally, Call of Duty started as a competitor to the popular Medal of Honor series in the early 2000s. However, the series took a significant turn with the release of Call of Duty 4: Modern Warfare in 2007. This game shifted the focus from World War II and set a new standard for military shooter games, marking a milestone for Activision's blockbuster franchise. The story of Modern Warfare moves at a thrilling pace and is packed with excitement from beginning to end. It features a series of compelling missions with some of the most unforgettable levels in the franchise's history. Some of the notable moments include the intense opening mission, Crew Expendable, where players race to escape a sinking ship, and All Gillied Up, known for its haunting depiction of Chernobyl post-disaster. Other memorable missions like Death from Above and Aftermath offer a realistic look at the horrors of war, including the effects of a nuclear explosion. While Call of Duty campaigns vary in quality, Modern Warfare stands out as arguably the best, thanks to its blend of fast-paced action and gripping narrative. Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus stands out as an exceptional single-player first-person shooter, largely due to the thoughtful world design by 4A Games. Unlike its predecessors, Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light, which followed more linear paths, Metro Exodus introduces players to various expansive environments. These areas feature optional objectives and hidden secrets, but the game avoids becoming a full open world, which helps maintain the narrative's pace and keeps the focus on Artyom and his group's journey across a post-apocalyptic Russia. The game masterfully blends exploration in both subterranean and surface settings, often leading to intense encounters that push the limits of your makeshift weapons. This balance makes Metro Exodus a refined progression of the Metro series and solidifies 4A Games as a top developer of story-driven shooter games. Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal continues the series' tradition of intense action, but it doesn't just rely on the thrill of battling through demonic armies. The game encourages you to think strategically, blending brute force with a smart approach to combat. Building on the successful reboot in Doom 2016, Doom Eternal enhances every aspect of gameplay. It introduces a dynamic of constant movement. You need to dash towards or away from enemies, keeping them guessing your next move. You'll unload your ammo on the demonic hordes, use your chainsaw on a zombie to refill your supplies, and get up close to incinerate enemies, making them drop armor shards. Doom Eternal excels when it transforms into a sort of rhythm game where timing and precision are key to surviving the beautifully chaotic battles. While its narrative might be tucked away in texts and audio logs, this shouldn't be a deterrent. If you're in search of a game that offers 10 to 15 hours of high-octane entertainment, complete with expertly crafted levels and a powerful soundtrack, Doom Eternal is an outstanding choice. Bioshock. From the moment it begins, Bioshock promises a truly unforgettable experience, even starting with a dramatic plane crash. The game is packed with breathtaking moments. Your first view of Rapture as you descend in your bathysphere, the dramatic entrance of Sander Cohen, and the notorious plot twist that remains one of the most iconic in video game history. Bioshock is crafted with a series of intense and surprisingly shocking scenes. The innovative gameplay, which combines plasmids and firearms, ensures that no two encounters with enemies are ever the same. The narrative is filled with unexpected what-the-flark moments, making Bioshock incredibly difficult to pause, even for those revisiting the game. With its unique retrofuturistic aesthetics and a deep, morally complex story, Bioshock wasn't just a masterpiece at its release, but still is today. Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is celebrated for having one of the finest FPS campaigns of its generation, a significant improvement given that the original Titanfall game had no single-player story. The sequel not only expands on the universe set by the first game, but also stands out on its own. It follows the journey of pilot Jack Cooper and his Titan, BT. Although the campaign is relatively brief, lasting about 5 to 7 hours, developer Respawn Entertainment utilizes this time exceptionally well. Each chapter of the campaign raises the stakes higher than the last, continually challenging your skills and showcasing the game's superb shooting and movement mechanics. A standout mission, Effect and Cause, serves as a high point of the campaign, but the details are best left unspoiled for new players. Suffice it to say, Titanfall 2's campaign is a gem that deserves more recognition and should be remembered as a benchmark in the genre for years to come. Half-Life 2. At the top of this list is Half-Life 2, a game that not only revolutionized FPS campaigns, but also transformed how we interact with video games in general. Its influence is monumental, evident from the immersive and oppressive world of City 17 to the ingenious physics-based puzzles that have inspired many games since. However, Half-Life 2 earns its top spot not just for its industry impact, but also because it's incredibly fun to play. The narrative of Half-Life 2 is both epic and deeply personal, crafting scenarios that range from exciting and ingenious to genuinely frightening. The game arms you with alien technology that feels both satisfying and powerful, especially the iconic gravity gun, which remains a fan favorite. Despite its minor flaws, like any other game, Half-Life 2's overall experience far surpasses these small issues. Its compelling world and innovative gameplay are so engaging they've left fans craving more for over a decade. With Half-Life Alyx, hope is rekindled for the series' future. Until then, Half-Life 2 remains an unrivaled masterpiece in the realm of FPS campaigns. Halo Combat Evolved. When Halo Combat Evolved debuted in 2001, it seemed that Master Chief might join the ranks of the faceless gun-toting action heroes common in the 80s and 90s. However, Halo quickly unfolded into a universe filled with profound depth, portraying a vast conflict involving humans, religious zealots, and a civilization-threatening plague. The original campaign introduced players to a beautifully enigmatic world, breaking away from the typical dull browns and grays of earlier games and embracing lush greens, vibrant purples, and expansive blue skies instead. The surprising twist that this stunning environment was actually a weapon of mass destruction added a layer of intrigue, marking one of the many narrative achievements that made Bungie's sci-fi saga stand out. With Halo Combat Evolved, Bungie not only transformed the console FPS landscape, but also established a foundational piece of what would become one of the most expansive and lasting space operas in the realm of video games. Deus Ex, an early trailblazer in the immersive sim genre, redefines what it means to be a first-person shooter. Set in a bleak cyberpunk future, the game emphasizes that having an arsenal doesn't necessarily mean that using it is the best approach. The game encourages exploring alternatives like negotiation or creative problem-solving to minimize collateral damage, though opting for combat is always a viable choice. The impact of Deus Ex is evident in many modern titles, not just its direct sequels like Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. Although it's often tempting to default to aggressive tactics in these games, Deus Ex offers a vast array of weaponry, challenging players to consider whether a quieter, more thoughtful approach might be more effective. This hallmark of player choice is what sets Deus Ex apart and continues to influence the gaming industry. Crysis 2. Crysis 2 might seem like an unconventional pick, but those who have played through its campaign might see why it deserves a spot here. Although it opts for a less open structure compared to its predecessor, Crysis 2 still delivers the feel of a vast, action-packed sandbox. The game consistently offers various strategies for handling combat situations, thanks to the advanced exosuit that allows for both stealth tactics and aggressive high-impact strategies. While the Crysis series isn't usually celebrated for its narrative depth, Crysis 2 introduces several well-timed twists that enhance its relatively brief campaign. It may not have revolutionized the first-person shooter genre, but Crysis 2 stands as a solid example of how to craft an engaging and versatile FPS campaign. Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 took the looter-shooter concept introduced by its predecessor and elevated it to new heights of enjoyment. The game boasts an almost endless variety of guns, including notable ones like the self-healing grog nozzle and a shotgun that fires exploding swords. However, the real charm of Borderlands 2 lies not just in its arsenal, but in the vibrant, over-the-top sci-fi world it creates. This setting is packed with unique, unconventional enemies, from masked bandits delivering monologues from their sniper nests to Goliaths that defy shooter logic by becoming stronger when shot in the head. While the original Borderlands may be somewhat underappreciated, there's no denying that Borderlands 2 is where the series truly hit its stride and set a benchmark that still stands. The game's blend of irreverent humor may not be for everyone, but its boldness is exactly what allows it to successfully merge elements of co-op play, looter RPGs, and first-person shooters into a cohesive, entertaining whole. With its extensive main campaign and exceptional DLC, Borderlands 2 remains one of the premier FPS experiences to enjoy with friends, celebrated for being polished, playful, and a fun counterpoint to more serious military shooters. Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead wasn't the pioneer in its genre, but it certainly perfected the formula of the cooperative zombie shooter, captivating players with its blend of fast-paced, almost arcade-style action, superb level design, cinematic flair, and finely tuned difficulty that made it irresistibly addictive. Left 4 Dead 2 took everything that made the original game a hit and enhanced it further, solidifying its position as the premier game of its type. Among the myriad of first-person shooters, what truly distinguishes Left 4 Dead 2 is its lasting appeal. Years after its release, the game still draws players back, particularly when played with friends. The timeless allure of teaming up to survive hordes of zombies ensures that Left 4 Dead 2 remains a favorite, demonstrating the enduring appeal of well-crafted cooperative gameplay. Deathloop. In Deathloop, you're caught in a time loop with a challenging mission. Assassinate 8 key figures, all responsible for maintaining the loop on a mysterious island. If you succeed in eliminating all 8 in a single cycle, spanning morning, noon, afternoon, and evening, you break the loop and gain your freedom. Each visionary moves across 4 different zones throughout the day, and the strategy lies in timing your moves to catch them together for efficient dual kills. However, Deathloop departs from the stealth-focused gameplay of Arkane's earlier Dishonored series, embracing more direct action and the thrill of combat. In this game, time is fluid, and the consequences of death are minimal, encouraging bold and experimental playstyles without long-term repercussions. Amidst the chaos, you encounter Juliana, an assassin whose sole purpose is to stop you. While she can be controlled by the game's AI, the excitement peaks when another player takes her role, turning the game into a thrilling hunt. This player-versus-player interaction locks you in the current zone, leading to intense encounters and strategic firefights that use the full extent of your arsenal. These invasions add a dynamic layer to the game, making each session unpredictable and exhilarating. Superhot. The Superhot team has defied the notion that there is nothing new under the sun by releasing 2 groundbreaking games in a single year. First, Superhot introduced a unique shooter experience where time moves only when players make a move. Then, Superhot VR not only showcased the potential of virtual reality, but also emerged as one of the top VR games available. Superhot combines high-octane action with tactical gameplay, revolutionizing the first-person shooter genre. Players must strategize their actions in a world where time moves at a snail's pace until they intervene, navigating through a maze of dangers. This dynamic setup elevates the importance of every decision and adds an element of danger to each move, resulting in an exhilarating and immersive gameplay experience. In VR, players can physically execute actions like dodging, punching, throwing, and shooting, immersing themselves in a reality reminiscent of the Matrix without any unnecessary distractions. Just pure, intense action. Superhot in VR represents a brilliant reimagining of first-person action. Well, everyone, that wraps up this video. Please subscribe if you enjoyed my list, and feel free to suggest other topics you'd like me to explore. See you next time.